Any update on Rashawn's status?
Rashawn will be out for the game.
So Trey Pipkins will be the starting left tackle tomorrow?
Yes, Trey will start at left tackle.
And how do you think he'll do in that role?
I think Trey's had a brief, good week of practice, and Trey's continued to improve for us, and I think we have confidence in him to go execute the job, and we're going to do everything we can within the game plan to make sure that we play really well around him, the other the other 4 guys on the line, and his other 10 teammates, and I think that this is just a great opportunity for him. It's a great opportunity for him, and I know that he's had a good week of practice, and I'm excited to see him compete in the game.
With Derwin, what's sort of his status? I know he's questionable, but
yeah, he's questionable for the game. We're going to work him out pre-game. He was out there on the practice field today, as you guys saw, and trending much better than he was last week for sure after the practice. So we're going to work him out pre-game, continue to try and treat him today, tomorrow, and then we'll see at the game, how he feels.
What about Austin and Asante?
Asante and Austin will both be game time decisions. Austin is just sore, but we're going to make sure before the game that he's feeling okay, and the same with Asante. He's been out in the practice field as well, but we're just going to make sure right before the game that he feels his best, and if it's a go, then we'll go that direction. If not, then we'll go in a different direction. But all those four guys that I just talked about will be game time decisions, and then Alohi will be out for the game, or will be questionable for the game.
Coach, there's been an uptick in COVID throughout all major sports right now. Where's your level of concern with that, and what advice are you giving to your players, as we get into the holidays and things like that?
Yeah, I think you have to give COVID the appropriate amount of respect, and just make sure that you're doing everything you can from a mask wearing, social distance, following the protocols that your state or your facility has in place, and that's all you can do. And you don't need to make it a bigger issue or a smaller issue than what it is. You just need to treat it with the appropriate amount of respect, and I think that's what everyone's trying to do. And we'll just keep it moving.
Is there a higher level of urgency right now with what's going on, or no? Or just kind of
I think you need to give it the same amount of urgency. I think we've given it the same amount of urgency that the topic requires, and I think that we learn more and more each day, and all we can do is continue to follow the protocols to the best of our ability. And I know that that's what everybody in the NFL, I know that's what everybody in the world is doing. So I think that we're all giving it the appropriate amount of respect that it deserves.
Brandon, is this the game that you obviously kind of tell the players this is for first place? You kind of tell them what's at stake, or is this one of those that they know what's at stake and you just got to go out there and execute?
Yeah, our focus isn't what's at stake; it's just on our opponent. And I think that that's where our focus is we know that the challenge that's in front of us. We have full respect for this team, and that's where our focus is just on how we need to play this game and what it's going to take from us. And that's where our focus is going to be. And we know that it's a great op on Thursday Night Football in front of the entire world, and that's exciting. But that's more external. What's internal is the Kansas City Chiefs, and then how the Los Angeles Chargers are going to play, how we're going to play. And so that's where our focus has been the last couple of days.
Do you think this game could turn into a trap meet with Justin and Patrick?
I think, Lindsay, it can always turn into that with 2 quarterbacks as good as Patrick and Justin. It can always happen that way. I think when you have 2 teams that I feel like are as quality as both teams are, then that game can take a shape in a bunch of different ways. And I think that that's what is unique about this game, is that you got to be ready to play the game the way it expresses itself, and you got to be ready to handle the swings in the game because you don't know how it's going to be. You don't know if it's going to be high scoring, low scoring, comeback, tight all the way. And I think that that's the sign of great teams, is just being able to play that game how it needs to be played. And I think that it's going to be exciting for us because anytime you play a team twice, 3 times in a season, there's that game within the game, that chess match, and both teams making adjustments. And so I'm excited to compete tomorrow night with these guys. And again, the team we're playing is really, really good.
What do you think it says about Justin that he got the AFC Offensive Player of the Week a 3rd time?
Yeah, I think he's definitely deserving. I think the performance that he had. You just talk about the completion percentage and the accuracy the touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and then just really leading us to a big win, you know. And I felt like just he really performed at a high level. And then anytime you have a signature throw like he had in the game, that's always going to give you a better chance. But what I'm more excited about is I'm more excited about how we played as a team. And I think that allowed him to compete at a high level because I think the other 2 phases really gave him a lot of ops in that game. And then I really felt like his teammates really performed well. You know, I felt like our offensive line and tight ends really blocked at a high level. I felt like we ran the football. We had balance. We had even distribution in the skill position players, and that was without Keenan. So I felt like it was a complete performance. And normally, if you can have a performance like that, then you can count on Justin playing like that because he's certainly capable of it. But proud of him and proud of our team because, you know, anytime you win those individual awards, it's so much a team award too.
Senio, is he going to be the backup center again?
Yeah, Senio will be the backup center for this game.
And has he played center before? I guess why did you feel comfortable going in?
He's one of those guys that's played a lot of things, and so with Scott, you know, being where he's at, you go with a guy that has trained there within his NFL career. Ryan has also done that within his career too, but you're always trying to find guys that have at least had that experience in a practice setting, and so Senio has that for us.
Brandon, with Trey, he had 4 games where he was inactive. Do you think from just watching on the sideline or from that point has he improved as a tackle?
Yeah, I mean, he's had to. He's had to improve. And so, that's why he's going out there, is because we feel like he's the best option at left tackle. And we've got contingencies within the game if other things happen. But right now, we feel like, Trey gives us, the best first option in this game. And like I said, it's a great opportunity for him. And, we're excited for him to have that op. We've been working hard with him to improve his game. And I know Frank and Sean have worked really hard with him, his fellow O-linemen. And I know he's going to be ready to play.
What did you see recently from Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, I think Lindsay, the big thing with Patrick is over this last, I would say the 6-game stretch since they had 6 in a row, they've played really well as a team. And I think that the way their defense is playing, that you can't minimize what that does for a quarterback. When you're playing well in all 3 phases, just what that gives you. And I think that Patrick's always played at a premium platinum level in this league. I just think that that beginning part of the season, there's a discovery process that happens with every team, and because he's created such enormous expectations for himself and for his team. I think that you have a difficult stretch, and that's just life in the NFL. It's not like he was performing poorly or his team. They were just having a tough stretch, and then since then, I just think that they've been a lot more balanced as a football team. And on offense, they've always been dangerous. They're still one of the top, 2, 3, 4, 5 offenses in the league. Passing, running, you name it. They're settled in with their offensive line, and their skill position players speak for themselves. And I think their backs have done a nice job in the run game. And so they're a very complete offense, and they're a team that can knock you out. They have that one-punch threat, which few do in the NFL like them, where they can really hit that explosive play that goes a long way, and they have several guys that can do it, and he's at the front of all that. So he's definitely one of the best of the best at that position.
How much does just losing Rashawn decrease your margin of error across the board? What he means to you in the running game, and it might be tougher to possess the ball, fall behind, being in known passing situations, and sort of forcing Trey to be in known pass rushing situation. Just overall across the board, how much does it?
Yeah, we're just gonna, Dana, we're just gonna have to play really well as a team on offense and defense. That's what we're gonna have to do, and we've got a lot of good plans for this game. And then Trey's going to have to win his share of tough downs, and that's part of the NFL. And I think that more than anything, it's really not about Rashawn not being at the game. It's about those guys on offense for the Chargers that are going to play together with Trey, so that we can compete at a high level. And so when you do lose a starting player, just like we did last week with Derwin, just like we did last week with Keenan, and every other NFL team that loses a starter that's impactful, everyone has to elevate their performance, coaches, players, and you got to put a really good plan in place so that next guy that goes up, you hear that next guy up can perform to the best of his abilities. It's a team effort to allow that person to play as well as they can play, and that's where our focus has really been this week. And I think that I think our guys are going to really step up and help Trey play his best tomorrow night.
With Keenan being out for 10 days, what is it meant to have him back in the building?
I've enjoyed seeing the guy. He looks fresh, and he certainly helps our chances. And I think it gives these guys perspective too. When you have to set one out, and then you get back in it, you see how much you miss it. And so it's been great to have him back, and I'm excited to go compete tomorrow night with him. You want to be as close to full strength as you can be, and Keenan's he has so many experiences and games like this that hopefully can help us tomorrow night.
Obviously you never insinuate that there's positive or beneficial things to being out for a game, but do you feel like with Joey and Mike, and sometimes these guys being out for 5 days or 10, do you feel like maybe their body gets a chance to kind of jump back in and kind of restart? And again, I'm not trying to...
No, I'm laughing because I think that the tangible part of it, if you were me and us, is that they do come back fresher. They do come back with a little bit more energy than the rest of us. So we've kind of joked about that a little bit. And so there is that element to it. And then how they perform, obviously that's just up to them. But I do sense a freshness to the guys when they come back. And I think all that just highlights is that we all need our rest. All of us do. So that's probably my tangible takeaway from these guys' absence.
In your 8 wins, Coach, have you identified anything that, or what have you identified within the players that let you know that they're ready to play, they're ready for game day? Have you noticed anything specific within those 8 games?
Cam, I think, we've talked about this a lot in this room. It's just we've been in a lot of tight games, and I feel like in our wins, we've really just had the complete performances as a team and playing with the right energy on game day. I think we've come to the stadium with the right energy, and I felt like we've executed in all 3 phases to win those games and be at our best in the fourth quarter, especially. And so I feel like that's been maybe a common theme. But, this year, I think all across the league, we're all just seeing how tight it is. And, you're trying to pinpoint, these couple specifics. And I think every game takes on a life of its own. But, I think the commonalities for us when we win is we play as a team and we play with really good energy on game day.